Well, folks, what's happening? Welcome to Mentality Monsters. And today's podcast is proudly sponsored by Our Kings Camps. We'll hear more about them later on in the episode. So today we are joined by Mr. Reece McGinley. So Reece is a former professional footballer. He also owns one of the most popular gyms in Belfast. He's building a great community around him. And what it looks like, it's a great atmosphere in the gym as well. And then also he is extremely good at Hyrox and is running 150k a week. So he's got a lot on his plate. He's a family man. So Reece, again, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
That's cool.
So first podcast here, but first I want to just go into last week. So last week you were speaking at the Redefining the Alpha event. This is your first podcast, and then last week was your first kind of public speaking. Did that kind of audience? How do you think it went for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I forgot how to speak in the first intro. My mouth just wouldn't get that. But once I settled in, I was sweet. Like I think I was saying to you, it's whenever you're talking about things that you're comfortable about talking about, it's fine. Like I do it with the gym a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit in the room with 1,000 people and tell them how to make progress. But when you're talking about things that's not really comfortable, especially like mental health and all that sort of stuff, like it can be a wee bit. And you're sitting and talking to a panel of adults, like it can be a wee bit intimidating. But I enjoyed it.
Do you feel like you were able to get kind of your story across freely, or do you think, because like I've done just wee speaking events before, I've never actually done that to that kind of crowd and your peers as well. Do you feel like there was any like people were trying to judge you or fucking kind of well, like what way would
like
I say
at that event, do you mean?
I know, like people are just trying to see what kind of person you are speaking, or did you think freely you could just sit and openly talk? You were
I mean, I see, to be honest, mate, I didn't even think about who was there. Obviously, I knew you were there.
Yeah.
There was a guy who came up, I forget his name, at the start, he was a public speaking coach. He was like, just, if you see one person, just talk to that person. So I just thought, you didn't know, but I was talking to you the whole time.
smack bang in the middle.
But you were, no, I mean, everyone's there for that event for like that same reason. Everyone knew what it was going to be about. Everyone knew what they expect. I didn't really try and, I just tried to sort of answer the questions as best as I could without really thinking about who was in the crowd, who I was talking to. But I'm sure people was making their minds up. Like I had a few people come back to me after and sort of just say like I like that and all that, and I was cool. Like
I think you spoke fantastic. I didn't know it was your first event as well, not like your first ever time doing that there. So I think you were fucking fantastic up there. I think the entire panel itself as well. It's kind of, there was a perfect mix of people there, and like I really really enjoyed it. Bro, we'll jump in here then to the podcast. So, what were you like as a young person, and where are you from?
I'm from Belfast, from Divis, Lower Falls. I grew up
the lads.
Up the lads. Grew up just playing football, mate. Just the usual sort of kid from. I had a great childhood, to be fair. Grew up just playing football, mate. One of them things from I was like we were saying about just love playing football. Was always good in school, mate. Smart, real soft kid, like. Took everything to heart type of kid, but you have to sort of hate that whenever you're growing up in Divis. You know what I mean?
100%. Like you could get eaten alive.
Football helped me a lot in terms of my childhood, because then you get that respect from people. Like obviously, Divis is a rough one. We grew up in the heart of Divis, like, so you've got the hoods joyriding every other night. Yeah. But as I sort of grew up, it was weird. Like I'll see them stealing cars, and then they'll say to me the next day, "How's football going?" Do you know what I mean? So you get that sort of respect from people. So I enjoyed that. Like, but no, I had a great childhood, great family, close knit family. We all live. I still live in Divis. Probably never move out of Divis. Now I have my own family. We all live literally in the same street. Me and my close family. There's about 6-7 different houses all in one street. Nice. So it's one of them ones. I think a lot of people sort of, something I was worried about obviously was when I have kids, how hard is it to bring them up in a place like Divis, but I came up all right, and I think it's just parenting. Like
I think especially in the working class areas, like I'm from Ardoyne, you're from Divis, I think you get a lot of character out of that. There's a lot of life experience as well that you can't really get.
You can't match it.
Yeah.
And as I got older, like, and I went like most of my mates, I always, to be fair, no disrespect to anyone in Divis, I found myself making friends outside of Divis as I sort of went to secondary school and things like that. So I always went up. I used to run about like Lagmore and all that, up the road a wee bit, Mount Eagles.
Mix them up the road.
Everyone's the same. Like, do you know, like there's scumbags in every area you go to, do you know what I mean? In the nicest possible way. There's people doing the wrong things everywhere you go. And what I found was, as I started to run about with people up the road, I was the calmest out of everyone. I was from Divis, you know what I mean? So,
see, when you were running about at that age, because you were saying that the football kind of gave you respect and people kind of knew you because of that, do you think football became your identity? Did you rely
100%.
on that to become your identity?
100%. It's not that anyone you'll ever speak to, like, I've never been someone that will talk about football first. Like, most people who know me now don't even know I play football. Don't even know the extent of what I play football. Because it's something I don't really... Like you said, that was my identity, and I've had to work really hard whenever I stopped playing football to not make it my identity. So for me now, like, I openly talk about it, and I enjoy talking about it, but it's not something that I would tie to my identity. But growing up, it was just naturally. Like, I was, like I was saying at that event, like, I was someone from the lower falls who played for the Mac, getting scouted for Liverpool, like, at a young age. And back then, like, now the pathway to England's a lot better. Like, I don't really follow too much, but you see lads going over all the time, and you see contracts left, right, and centre. But back then, it wasn't really like that. I think the only one I had sort of knew was Ryan McLaughlin. Whenever he was the one that sort of above me that had a good move, and he went later on. Like, he went straight over, I think, at about in the scholarship sort of age. So back then, there wasn't really many that were going over young. Yeah. So I was just known as the kid that played for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? See, and then that alone just makes it your identity.
So did you go from Mac straight over there?
Yeah.
Was there ever any chance you like at a young age going to the likes of Linfield or Clivenville, or what made you stay at Mac?
Like, I just always done what I enjoyed the most, and like, I played for Mac from I was 5. I was playing like under, there wasn't even an age group for me, but it was just like I knew the people, and they got me involved. But like the Linfields and all them, like, we were about 6 leagues behind them, and they obviously wanted me to play for them. But I always was at the attitude of, I enjoy playing for the Mac, and I'll play for them as long as I can. And then the only time I left to go to Plunkett for about 6 months because the Mac folded, we had an age group that just didn't have enough players. So that was literally, and I knew I was going away. I think it was around about the time I was moving away anyway, so I had about 6 months. And I was friendly with Plunkett manager, and he let me play for a couple of months before I went.
Plunkett have always had a decent kind of youth.
Yeah.
They've always had players that have always went across the water and stuff like that there. And see, you moved over at 14. Yeah. How did you get scouted for Liverpool playing for the Mac? And was there any other clubs that were interested in signing you at that stage?
Yeah. So I got scouted when I was 9. There's a Liverpool academy over here. I think it's still here.
Yeah.
And basically you go on a Friday night, and that's like the first step. You get into that, and obviously there's a big squad of players, and then if every couple of months they'll have people coming over I'm sure they have like people in Ireland and stuff now who'll come up, and they sort of have a look.
One of those coaches now.
Oh, I think he is. To be fair, it's a great setup. It is. I used to love it. But then they'll obviously pick their favourites who they want to then go over to the academy.
Yeah.
To have a wee go at it. The mix them were obviously all the English boys, and I can't remember. I think I was playing in some Friday night match. Must have been 8, and got scouted for Liverpool then. And from 9, I actually had my first trip over when I was 9 or 10, and then between that age and sort of 12, I was going over every couple of months. From 12 to 14, I was then going over every 2 weeks for like 5 days.
And how did that kind of impact your school then?
Yeah, mate, the teachers hated me. Absolutely hated me. They used to despise me. Mates, on a Wednesday, they knew I was getting out and I wasn't coming back for 5 days. It just messed up their schedule. I mean, they didn't hate me in that sense, but it used to make it a hard job for them. Like, it was before GCSE level, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I used to go over every second week, on a Wednesday till a Sunday, and then, but I was actually too young. My granddad had to fly over with me on the Wednesday. God love him, he had to come over. He had to fly with me on a Wednesday and get a flight straight back home, and then fly back over on the Saturday to stay with me on the Saturday night, and then come back home on the Sunday. He'd done that for 2 years.
Fuck, fair play to him.
What a guy.
Like, were you in digs or?
No, I was too young to be in digs. When I moved over, I was in digs. I was in digs from the Wednesday till the Friday. And then on the weekend, he came back over and stayed with him on the weekends.
And what was that like, the digs, mixing in with lads? It's
Yeah.
your probably first time being
It was
in England and stuff.
It was good. It was alright. It was, like I said, mate, I'm a big softie. Like, I'm a worrier. Like, I'm a lot better now. I'm a bit older and mature. But see, growing up, mate, I used to worry about everything. Like, and I can remember at that stage, it was like, and reason why I love playing for Mac, mate, I love playing pressure free. And anyone you ever like, I'm not an arrogant person. Like, but see, whenever I'm playing football arrogant free, like, I'm a good player. But see, whenever I'm not, I'm just average.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think that's one of the reasons why football didn't work out for me. But in terms of that, mate, makes it like it was just a weird one. You're so young, and because there wasn't really many other ones around my age there, I was always mixing with the older lads, and it was just like you get a taste of that environment. Like it's a ruthless environment. So then you have to put, like, if I'm a softie, you have to put on that mask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that was my thing. In terms of other clubs, mate, yeah, I actually, before I signed for Liverpool, so I was basically classified as like an academy lad because I was going over from so young. But at 16, that's whenever your scholarship starts and whatever. So I had been offered a scholarship at Liverpool before I moved over, so I knew that it was there until I was sort of 18, 19. But at the very start, like, most of the teams were looking at me, so I ended up actually going and trialing with Man City and United as well. And before I moved to Liverpool, just to make sure it was sort of the right move. And I ended up sort of sticking with the guns and going with Liverpool. Like,
Did anybody have like a say on where you wanted to go? Was there any pressure to go to Liverpool, or did any of your family members or friends want you to go to, say, City or United?
no, none of my family really were into football, to be quite honest with you. Like, none of them. And no one ever really put pressure on me to go anywhere or to stay anywhere. As I got older, I learned that it was a lot of self-inflicted pressure, what I assumed people thought, you know what I mean? But no one really had their preference. Whenever we were like, right, let's go and try a few other teams, it was always just like, let's try the biggest teams, and see what's a crack. But I ended up, like I said, staying with Liverpool. Like,
What was it like there? So you've moved over now at 14.
Yeah.
You're there full time. What's kind of like the culture in the club for young players? Are you cleaning boots? Are you doing all that stuff?
Yeah.
Or
no, you're not. I don't know what it's like now, like, but we weren't. Like, we were, whenever I went on later, I think you find that more as you go into like your first year pro and scholarship level and stuff is where you start to sort of get taught that. But as 14, I think, to see it's still kids. Like, so from 14 to 16, it was okay. It wasn't too bad.
Still in
from that
education?
culture. Yeah, so I had to do my GCSEs in Liverpool. There's basically, they have like a school where they've built onto it. And all the Liverpool lads being there, and it's just your wee place to go. But I ended up having to do all mine. I done all my GCSEs. Like, I'm pretty smart, like, in terms of school and all that. I done it like a year early to try and get you more time to play football.
Yeah.
Because we used to play, obviously, some days you're doing double sessions, so you weren't really in school that much, like. So it's nice in that sense.
what was it? See, just your average day, like day to day for, say, a 16-year-old, 15, 16-year-old
Yeah.
in the academy. What's kind of like your day laid out, like your average fucking Tuesday?
Mate, I can't fully remember, to be honest, but there was days where we were in school full time and then you go and train that night. And then there was days where you're in school half a day and then you're in to do 2 sessions.
It's long days for a 15, 16-year-old.
I mean, it's long, like, because you're up, obviously you go to school like a normal kid, and then you're either going straight to the academy to do double sessions, or you're waiting until a full day is done at school, and then you're there. So you're not getting, most nights we didn't get home to 8 o'clock. Near enough every night, actually.
And then,
From that morning, like.
Early start then as well for school.
Yeah. So,
And what was the transport like? Did you have to get buses or?
now the digs I stayed in for the school was literally like 5-minute walk away, so that was handy to get to school.
Lethal.
But then from the school there was always like taxis that brought you to the academy.
Fuck yeah, that's not too bad.
So
Are
it
they
was-
paying for them?
Aye.
Aye. Are you on a wage at this
you're
stage?
looked after. No, 14 to 16 you're not allowed to. Back then I don't think you were allowed to legally be paid.
And then I'm guessing
They cover like
everything.
expenses. They cover expenses and all that sort of stuff. I think at 16 you can start to be paid. Obviously there's grey areas where I'm sure people have got money family's got money and all that sort of stuff.
100%. I'd say there's definitely loads out there.
So it
backhands.
definitely happens. Like, and as you get older, you sort of you see all that sort of starting to shine light into everything. Like,
see, when you first initially went over a 14, did you think that you were going to make it?
See, to be honest, mate, like I never actually seen myself as a footballer. Like I never actually seen myself. I don't know why. I always had I was always the kid that was like, no, I ain't gonna do this just in case it doesn't work out. I don't know if in my head I was sort of setting
Fully
myself
committed.
up to not play football at some stage. I don't know if it was a confidence issue or if it was just it didn't align with me issue, or whenever I was doing everything, I was 100%. I've done things 110%. Like I don't do anything by half measures. So I was always doing the most out of everyone. Like and that was something that sort of got me to fall out with football a wee bit, because from that age I felt like I was the one going above and beyond for everything, living the life, doing everything. And you always hear about like who works the hardest in training, who does all the extras, whatever. You're the one who gets the chances.
Yeah.
As you soon find out, whenever you start to get older, it doesn't work like that. It's not who works the hardest, unfortunately.
Then what was
business.
It's business, 100%.
Business.
Like would you see local lads get the nod over you to go up to train with, say, under 18s, under 21s?
Good question, and this is the reason why I actually left Liverpool. I think there's other things that dictate them choices, and it's not talent or quality at that stage. A lot of it is I don't know what way they judge it, but who they want to go into them roles, who they want to push up, how much money is one player worth versus the other one. And what I soon found out was a lot of people talk about politics and football, and I would never really come on and complain about it. Football, I had some great experiences with it, but there is politics in football. Of course there is. It's a business. There's politics in everything that's going to make people money. But at a young age, I found that out really early. As a kid who's literally gave up his whole childhood to come and live by myself with a different family while my family's back home, I started to see like opportunities go to other people who maybe weren't in my eyes.
Like sacrificing
as
what you were.
And a lot of that is money. So you imagine Liverpool or any big teams, if they buy a kid at 15 for £1 million versus an academy lad who costs them 20 grand, if there's ever an opportunity for one of them to do better, they're always going to want to push the £1 million kid. Of course they are, because they need to make their money back on that kid. Not saying that's exactly how it works. You have to be good enough, of course. But as I started to get older, I started to sense that, whether that was me justifying maybe that I wasn't being selected for X, Y, and Z. Possibly, I don't know if that's correct, but that was my take on it. You know what I mean?
Was there any players that came through at your time that were brought in from other academies at that age, 15, 16?
There was loads of lads. Like I played with loads of people from 14 to 16. You don't get me wrong. There's some local lads who went through who didn't cost money. Like you look at Curtis Jones and Trent, all them boys. Like they're all crackers. So it doesn't always work like that. There's just opportunities, I think, and how people get the arms put around them and things like that. Depending on possibly who you came at, I think mentality and stuff as well. Like I said, one of my biggest weaknesses was I was weak at that stage. Like I was mentally weak, and I know this. Like I couldn't handle pressure as much as I probably wanted. Like you need to be ruthless. Seeing the academy scenarios, like honestly, mate, like the kids are like they're hard to like. I found myself in loads of groups where I didn't really like anyone. Like, say, if I went for football, I want to be mates with them outside. That type of thing. But a lot of them boys are the ones that are now make it, because you have to be like that. Like, you have to be at 14 if the manager says to you, like, I was shit. You have to say, I dead on, mate. I don't care what you say, even though that's the manager. Whereas at 14, the manager said that to me, I was home thinking about it for 3 days. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to have that mindset, and I didn't have it young. So I used to overthink everything, and I think that used to impact my performances a lot. Like,
was there any players that kind of took you under their wing? Any older players that give you any guidance, or is everyone kind of in that thing of I'm competing here to get a contract?
Not really. To be fair, but because of the gap, there wasn't really many. You spent time near enough the people around your age group. So, like I said, my main time at Liverpool, whenever I was there full time, was 14 to 16. And like there was a few Irish lads and stuff I stayed in digs with, and we all would have been really close and had good relationships. So they're the people you'd sort of lean in on. But as of older players, not really. Like not in a way we didn't want to. You just didn't see them enough because you think from 16 onwards you're in your scholarship, so their time schedule was completely different. So yeah.
Was there ever a moment that you felt you were out of your depth? Can you remember a moment?
In terms of I shouldn't be here?
Yeah,
or
just
quality?
like, just say a game where you just thought I'm a miles off it here.
Mate, see, to be honest, most games, like I was probably one of the worst, I would say, consistent performers. and again, this is one of the reasons why I don't blame anyone or say I didn't make it because of X, Y, and Z. Like one of the harsh realities for me was I couldn't handle the pressure of performing well consistently. I knew I was as good as everyone else. And again, like I'm not arrogant, but at that level, at that age group, 14 to 16, there was no one better than me.
Yeah.
I was as good as the people that I was playing with, and I knew that in training. But see, when it came to games, I just couldn't. I don't know what it was. I couldn't perform consistently, till the level that I was at. Managers knew that, coaches knew that, players knew that, and ultimately that's what sort of I started to learn that as well, and then that's where I sort of started to work, like understand mindset and pressures and all that sort of stuff as a kid, and I'm like. And then that's whenever it sort of started to become unhealthy for me at 16. And that's when ultimately I decided to leave Liverpool.
See, when you came home, just we're going to close up the shop on the Liverpool kind of like section of your story here in a minute. But see, when you were coming home, and obviously you're known, that's Reece McGinley, he plays for Liverpool. He's the dog's balls, he's the man. And you're also in the Northern Ireland squad as well. And you're coming home for camps, you're coming home just for fucking, say, a few days. Did you feel, see, because you're saying there that you knew that you weren't consistently performing and you didn't feel kind of up to it at times?
Yeah.
Did you feel pressure when people were going, oh, mate, you're doing fucking class? And like, did you have in your head going, fuck, if you knew the pressures that I'm under here?
I know. No, I always sort of just, it was just like nod and smile. It was like, people don't understand. It's not their fault that they don't understand. They're always asking, how's things going, how's football going, blah blah blah. It was always what I was known for, but it was from a nice place. It was just them generally being interested. Like I said at the start, like I was walking past people in Divis who were stealing cars one night and asking me how's football going the next night. That was just who I was known for, which I demand. But yeah, people don't understand that word. Even now, whenever I hear people having conversations about football, like in the gym and whatever, I don't even get involved in it because people are so unaware of that life and what is expected and what you actually do go through. But I always done enough and worked hard where I could always hold my head up high and knew that I'd give it everything. Things didn't go well for me were sort of, I felt out of my control at times, like not understanding how to maybe apply myself in matches more. Like for me, it's something that frustrates me because I know I had the quality and I see players now who I played with doing very, very well. It frustrates me because I know I had that same level of quality, but it just wasn't meant to be for me. There's a lot of parts. It's not just talent and quality. There's a lot of things that need to all align for you to, like you were saying it before we started the podcast, the percentage of people at under 21 level who play first team. There's so much parts of the puzzle that has to come in. Most kids who are playing for like Premier League teams under 21 level all have similar level of quality like they do. There's no worldies really. There's the odd one, like, but most people, if you go and watch an academy match at under 21s, you'll look and every single one of them has the ability to go and play first team. Yeah. Every single one of them. There's just so much things that need to align. You know what I mean?
Like, can you think of it? Players that are playing, say, that are 20, I think you're allowed 3 players over the age of 21 to play in your 21s. But players that are, like, even there, and you're going to yourself, because you could be going to yourself, right, I'm 20 or 21 here, if I'm not in a first team now, what can, and then a lot of negative self-talk,
100%.
Negative self-doubt, and then you put pressure on yourself. Hey everyone, Caine here from Mentality Monsters. Time to talk about today's sponsor. If you love the thrill of winning big, then you need to check out our King's Competitions, the UK and Ireland's top spot for incredible praise competitions. They're giving you the chance to win luxury cars, dream holidays, top tech, and even life-changing cash prizes, all for a fraction of the cost. And what's the best part of this? Entering is super easy, so you just need to go on, select your competition, grab your tickets, and then you're in for a shot at winning big. With guaranteed winners in every draw and some of the most amazing prizes out there, R Kings is the place to be if you want to turn a little into a lot. So, what are you waiting for? Head over to www.rkingscompetitions.com now and grab your tickets, and you could be our next big winner. That's R Kings Competitions, where dreams become reality, and enter today. So, bro, your Northern Ireland career, they captained up until under 19. How do you think that went for you?
Yeah, it went well. Northern Ireland looked after me, to be fair, until it didn't. It's one of them things, like football, you're looked after whenever you're doing well. Whenever you're not doing well, you're not. I think at 19, to be fair, Northern Ireland always looked after me. That's why I never went to the South. Had many opportunities to go to South. Obviously, being a Catholic was always a bit of pressure from why you playing for Northern Ireland. And just never didn't because they looked after me. But whenever you go out of form, it's just football.
Yeah,
it's business. What I mean? It's business. I was captain 1 month and then going through a bit, and then all of a sudden you're left out of a squad and you're going from being captain till not even in the squad, and you're like, and then ultimately that's whenever I decided to, that's when around time I came home. But yeah, Northern Ireland looked after me. They did. They looked after me well, and I think whenever I left Liverpool and went to Rotherham, they understood the sort of why. That was another thing we didn't touch on, but I had a stinker, and as I got older, as a few things sort of started to align. I was like, right, football's not for me. It's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Like whenever I decided to leave Liverpool, I still had a couple of years I left before my scholarship even started, so I had a couple of years still on the contract. And I was like, I want to go and play first team football. It's like X, Y, and Z happened here. I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to play. I may play academy and go elsewhere, but I was like, I may as well do it now instead of waiting until I'm 21.
Yeah.
So I was like, at that stage, obviously, I had a fair few Premier League teams interested because I hadn't even started my scholarship at Liverpool. And one championship team came in, Rotherham, for me. And I was like, let's go and try Rotherham, because I think I'll have better opportunity to actually play and get into a senior sort of squad. And I went down, and do you know Neil Warnock?
Yeah.
Neil Warnock was the manager at the time.
I love Neil Warnock.
Legend, absolute legend. But
he's funny as fuck.
I went down, mate, and I was only 16. Like I said, seeing training, mate, honestly, mate, there wasn't many better players than me in training. I was the best training player ever. But I went down and trained with the first team for a couple of days. Had the best 3 days I've probably ever played football in my life. And he was like, right, you're signing for us. You're going to be playing first team. I'm guaranteed you're going to play first team here as soon as you can move over. So I'm like, right, happy days, 16. He's then going to play championship here in a couple of months. This was like the end of the season. So he's like, you come rush pre-season, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, happy days. I signed. I was like, right, this is starting to look positive now. I get home for summer, 2 weeks later. He moved club, and I was like,
oh, fuck me.
There's
Where'd he
no
go?
way. I don't know. He got a good move. And then I was like, a new manager came in. It was someone from the club. It was like, needed to steady his ship. He's like, dead on, mate. You're not playing into the youth setup. And I was like, this isn't for me. So that was one of the things. And then I ended up doing my scholarship at Rotherham. But I was kicked to the teeth. Like, I was an absolute kick to the teeth.
He's some character too as well.
Oh, mate, he was a legend.
Each few weeks I'll post a video, a Neil Warnock video of him just fucking slapping the Paddy Kenny or something like that. There, he's funny as fuck.
He is. He's good.
But what was it like there? Just the small, like, again, you're probably not gonna have the same facilities. It's a championship club,
it's a
but
big
different
it was
change.
mental. It was like, honestly, it was a big difference in obviously facilities. What they had access to, everything, it was just completely different. No disrespect to them at all, by the way. Like, I was well looked after, rather, but it was just one of them things. It was the hand you're dealt. The reason I moved didn't work out that way, and again, that's just life, isn't it?
And when did you finally make a choice to come home?
I started my first year pro at Rotherham, and at that stage, I went through X, Y, and Z for 4 or 5 years, and just found myself, mate, and like I was saying, like, I love playing football. I didn't actually enjoy the sport of football. I still don't. And then at 19, mate, I just found myself in a place where I was just felt depressed, mate. And I was like, I can remember sort of speaking to my missus and being like, I have everything that people would be looking in going, he has a great life. Like, he's in his first year professional contract at a good team and blah, blah, blah. And I just hated it, mate. I absolutely hated it. And that stage, for a couple of years, I'd sort of started to realise, like, I didn't think that I aligned with football and that environment. And one of the biggest things was I didn't want one person to be able to control how good me and my family's life was. You know what I mean? And ultimately, that's the way it is. Whether you want to look at it like that or not, that's the way football is, that type of business. Manager loves you, you can have an amazing life, an amazing 5 years. Manager doesn't love you, it can be a hard old time. So I decided just to I wanted something different.
It's a brutal reality right there, like that is.
It was. And do you know what, mate? What was the saddest part is I was really excited about it, and I think I can remember being excited about the chance of going to university. But I came home and went and worked in a Coke factory, and mate, I was excited about all this what I seen as normal stuff. Like I craved normal at that stage of my life because I'd obviously missed it.
Yeah.
But it was obviously for me, it wasn't a hard pill to swallow. From I made the decision to leave football, I have never regretted it once. I've never thought about what if. I've never ever done that. It was just hard for me to face people. That was it. Like the decision itself was, I honestly felt like a weight been lifted off my shoulders. But like once I'd spoke to Mummy about it, I think I was more I couldn't do it because I've let them down type of thing.
Yeah.
But that was it. See, once I understood like their point of view, I was like, happy days, good decision.
And did you have a vision for yourself on what you were wanting to do next, or was it just
no, mate, just normal, just a normal life? I used to look at people in my family, and I used to be like, I love it, and that's mad, like, isn't it? I can remember
people are looking at you going.
People are looking at me, and I can remember looking at my mates going, not that they were out drinking and partying and all, but I can remember just a normal life. And being like, I would love that. And whenever I come home, mate, I struggled for a couple of years. I went to CBT therapy for years. And what I sort of found out was that my core values as a human just didn't align with football and the business and that world. And now I do something that does. And that's why I get so much happiness and fulfillment. You know what I mean? And
it says a lot about yourself as like your character and your values and principles. Like that you're willing to give up that there.
Yeah. And that matter, we touched on it in that event, and that's something that I'm so strongly about. Like, if something that you're doing doesn't bring you happiness and it doesn't align with you, change it, because like you literally get one. You hear it all the time. You get one crack at it, like, and that's it. No matter how good it may seem, if it's not giving you the happiness or if it's making you down, like if you can change it, change it.
No do-overs.
There's things that, as you know, there's going to be plenty of things that you can't change to get you through our way. For me, I'm a big believer in if there's anything that you can physically control, change it. Had them two things one at Liverpool, leaving Liverpool with a couple of years in your contract. Are you crazy? That was one of the things. What didn't make me happy, it didn't align with me. I wanted to change, and then leaving football was the exact same. And after that, mate, I've just lived like that going forward. Like if it doesn't align with me, if it doesn't make me happy, it's gone. Simple.
See, when you came back then, so you went and worked in a factory.
Yeah.
And what was that there? Like, see, just because, again, you says there that when you were younger, you were a bit soft, maybe a bit like maybe naive to just the world out there.
Yeah.
And you're put into a factory setting where it's boisterous, it's fucking people are working maybe from week to week to get their living, and that's their life.
Yeah.
What was it like being thrown into that kind of setting and environment?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Honestly, it's mad. I really enjoyed it. Just good crack. There was no price for me. It was just like another person.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was the hardest part for me was that first year, mate, where you had to face everyone.
Yeah.
House football. Like I said, that was everything that any person I seen in Belfast was always house football. So then it changed from what happened, and then I had that sort of shame about it, you know, like, and it took me a good while to sort of get over that. I didn't leave a house. I didn't want to leave a house, mate, for the first year I was back. You know what I mean?
How did you get over that?
CBT survey, to be quite honest.
Can you explain that there, just for people that I wouldn't really know much about it?
CBT therapy is just cognitive behavioural therapy. So it basically just helps you figure out why you think a certain way. So, like, if a certain scenario or situation arises, why do I think a certain way about it?
Yeah.
And I went to an amazing girl, Bruna. I still go back and forward with her depending on how I'm getting on. But over the last sort of 4 years, I've done that, and it's just helped me sort of regulate why I think a certain way. And the first year was always, I used to assume what everyone else was thinking. Do you know what I mean? And it was always the most negative thought ever. Same reason why it took me a long time to end up eventually giving up football and telling my own way that I didn't want to play football. Yeah. People who'd made all these sacrifices for me. But then I realised that that's not actually how they're all thinking. Do you know what I mean? If people are care about you, they just want the best for you. And if you're telling them that this does not make me happy, then they support that. And if they don't, they're not a good person to have around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. What can you, looking back on it now in hindsight, what's probably the biggest lesson that you've taken away from that period of your life there?
I just learned exactly what I didn't want in life and who I didn't want to be around. Like what type of people I didn't want my life to be around and what environment I didn't want to be in. Really, I had some amazing experiences. Like I always say to everyone, like a lot of people always ask me about like football and what went wrong, whatever. Like I had some amazing times. Like I loved training every day. I loved the football. I loved being around it. Like we got to go and watch the first team matches every week, do ball boy, and like you're going to different countries, X, Y, and Z. Like I had so many amazing experiences. But as I got older, the biggest thing I learned was this doesn't align with my values as a person, and it's not going to just automatically start making me happy. Money doesn't make me happy. That wouldn't have changed my core values. So then I realised that really young. I feel like I'm a wee bit above my ages, like moving away so young. I had to mature really young. Like I'm 25, yet I feel like I should be about 40. Do you know what I mean? And like that's probably the biggest lesson football gave me was just if it doesn't align with you, no matter how big or how amazing the opportunity may seem to other people, if it doesn't align with you, you got to change it. And then that's the biggest lesson I took with me then after, and I refused to change that way of living now. Like
unreal. What made you go to cruise when you did?
So one of the agreements was whenever I was with Rotherham. Like I said, whenever I realised things weren't making me happy, I was like, change. I decided the football and where I wasn't making me happy, change. But then I was still like, I still enjoyed playing football, like training and things like that. I still loved it. So I was like, I'll try and play it back home and see if it makes any difference. It didn't. So I played the cruise for a while. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I was the best training player you'll play with. But when it came to matches, just was a different player. And then ultimately I was like, I realised, right, this is still the exact same scenario. You can't change it 50%, like, and just expect it to be fine. You just gotta change it completely. And then I stopped playing football and never played again.
And what age were you then?
I was 20. At that stage was when we were just about to open the gym. And I had the decision of Cruise offered me a full-time. They were trying to go full-time contract. But it would have meant that I had less time at the gym and all that. And I was like, no, listen, this is where I want my life to be. This is now the priority. I'm going all in on it. You know, like I said, I'm not half measures. Like it's all in or not.
Where did the idea for the gym first originate then?
Whenever I just sort of got into the gym when I was in England. Like from 16 to 18, me and Tom, we used to go to the gym every night. You're bored, mate. You're in digs. You're in someone else's gaff. You know what I mean? Like there's not really much else to do. So we used to go to the gym every night. So I got into the gym that way, and then whenever I come home, I signed up to Queen's to do psychology. Again, just try and learn about it. It was a topic that I used to find interesting. But whilst I was doing that, I was like, I enjoy the gym. I used to coach my family and friends at the time, like just like show them how to do things and help them out. So I was like, I'm going to do my PT qualifications so that I can sort of work and try and coach people while I get through uni. And year one of uni, I'd done that and then ended up really busy coaching wise. Lockdown hit, uni went online, and I'm not a good learner in the house, like. So I ended up just sacking off uni, going into PT, and I was like nearly full time at that stage. And then lockdown hit, and on the way to lockdown, I was like, "Mum, we open me and my mate Podrick. I was like, "Mum, we open up a gym. Like, we basically pay someone rent to take our clients. Let's just get a unit.
Yeah,
we'll get what we need, and we'll pay rent, and we'll just take our 1-to-1s as normal, but it'll be our place." and that's where it started.
That's where it started. And was he fully behind this, your idea?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. He was. He had a lot more years under the belt than me at that time, but I don't think he ever really. Obviously, for him, going out on his own was a big move as well. It was something he was taking
was he
himself out of
before?
comfort zone. He was dedicated fitness.
Dedicated.
But he was there from he was a kid. Like I think he was there. He got to 8-10 years or something before, maybe more.
What is it?
Patrick's must be 31 or 2 now.
Was he?
Aye, he wasn't thinking. He's only a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
But he was there, and it was just more like me and him worked really well together. We're a bit opposite, and he ended up getting the confidence to come out because I obviously was I was torturing him.
Have you always been there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we started with the one unit, and then it just kept sort of growing and expanding, and now we have the 4. So it's good we space now. Like,
And then, did you choose it? Was it just see that location there? Did you just choose it because it was available, or
it was the only
yeah?
we chose it because it was available. One of them, the one of the unit, the middle one was available, so we ended up going in there. Like I said, I'll show you photos out there. We literally just got 2 squat racks, bit of dumbbells and a barbell, and that was it.
That's all you need.
During lockdown, I was still people were coming to my back garden, mate, and training with a bar and a plate. I was like, people genuinely don't care. They're coming to me because they want to have a conversation with me and they want me to coach them and whatever.
Yeah.
So really, where you are doesn't matter that much. That was my mindset. So it was like, I'll just get my own space.
100%. Like it's again, you can do a fucking deadly bodyweight circuit and
100%.
fucking.
You can make use of
No, I mean,
anything you
that's
need.
it.
So we ended up making use, and then I think about we had literally just opened up and then lockdown hit, and then we were in lockdown for ages, and then we were like, right, whenever we open up again, we'll open it up as a gym. At that stage, we were just sort of taking our 1-to-1s.
Yeah.
And we're like, we'll open up as a gym and we'll do like the small group training and we'll both coach and we'll sort of try and make a business out of it. And that was the idea. And
then
went
fuck
well.
yeah, it has went well.
Yeah, it's went well.
Opening your own gym, and you say that you were smart as a young person. How
Yeah.
did you find management and making decisions
It's
and
hard,
budgeting?
mate. It's hard because you'll see me at gyms opening up every corner of Belfast at the minute. Like you'll see every PT just wants to be a gym owner.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Don't know why it attracted me, but anyway. But going from a PT to a gym owner it's a different job. It's not the same job. Like PTing and your coaching is only a percentage of your job. Do you know what I mean? From it being all of it till a percentage of it, there's so much that you don't know.
All your overheads, like it's
Like,
fucking.
mate, people do not understand. For the last 4 years, you get people saying, "Many members have you got? How much is the membership?" And then I can see them doing the numbers in their head, and they're going, "Oh, you're doing all right." I'm like, "Oh, but you have no idea what's coming out to make that come in."
Yeah.
And business, but that's just business. You know what I mean? Business is it's a ruthless game. But the thing I love about it, and the fitness industry especially, is for me it has a positive correlation into what you put in, you get back out, and I absolutely love that. Like,
Can you remember the first time that you got really good results with a client, and you thought, or just a time where you were doing fucking a small group PT where you thought, no, this is where I was always meant to be?
mate, see, as soon as I started coaching my family, whenever I come home, I was like, this is my job. I was just like, I just knew that was going to be me. And then whenever I started taking on clients and working with like people that weren't family and friends, I still get the same level of fulfillment going in every day than I did 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it may be. And I just know that gives me the fulfillment. That's why I still coach in person. I still love the gym. Like, I have online clients. I could go fully online if I really wanted to. I don't, because I get so much fulfillment out of the relationships and like the actual coaching side of it. You know what I mean?
Did you get any players at the start that wanted to come to you for a bit of fucking guidance or training?
Not really, mate. I didn't position myself in that way. I didn't want to. Like I said, whenever I swapped from football, I wanted a complete swap.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to hook on and use. Like, I can remember a lot of people whenever I started doing them, was like, oh, I like your experience, and you can say I played X, Y, and Z, and you can take all these kids and think, I've never coached anyone to do with football, really, or used that pass to get clients.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think it would have been an easier thing to do, but I didn't, because
100%.
I didn't want it again. It didn't, because then I would have just been going from that identity of someone playing football to someone didn't work out, but now he tries to just train footballers to do what he done. You know what I mean?
Would you say that fitness has given you a new identity?
100%.
And
Yeah.
is it an identity that you're happy with aligning yourself with?
Absolutely. Like, most people who know me now will know me for what I do currently, and I love that. Like I said, most people who knew me 5 years ago knew me for football.
Yeah.
Some people still do. Like, I still get people I'll see, haven't seen me in a while, going, "Oh, what happened? Why just stop playing and all that?" And I'm like, don't want to talk about it, mate. If you
No
have an hour,
comment.
if you have an hour. But no, most people who know me now, and again, a lot of the people who know me now, and a lot of my close friends and stuff, don't even know a lot of the stuff that we spoke about here.
Yeah.
Because I don't talk about it. I don't have a need to. If someone asks me a question, I'll happily talk about it. But you know what I mean?
Say like a lot of your clients, a lot of people that are going to your classes,
Yeah.
are gonna be hearing a side of you that
Yeah,
they've never heard
100%.
before. which is
People,
gonna be
anyone
good.
who watches this will probably be watching the first half going, I didn't know it.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's the way that's the way I wanted it to be. You know what I mean?
See, when it comes to all the football part of your life,
Yeah.
would you change any part of it at all?
No. Nah.
Love it.
I live with no regrets. But no, I wouldn't, because it's got me to where I am now, both good and bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If things would have went a wee bit better, I'd have probably clung on for another 4 years and ended up in the same position 4 years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So no, I wouldn't, mate. No.
You found a new passion kind of now.
Yeah.
You're like elite runner. You're, I would say.
Well, I wouldn't say in the running world I'm still average, but compared to the average person,
the average
I'm
Joe.
alright.
And then Hyrox as well. Like I remember I was messaging you a while back and you were like, fuck, I need to get out for a run, and I was going to myself, "Oh, there is no chance." I was going, I know her.
I'm not taking him back.
I know her fucking near that there. But you found Hyrox, and see for Hyrox. Hyrox it's such an amazing, I think, kind of way of training, because just your average Joe is able to go and train, and they can enjoy it too as well, and they're doing it with friends and family. There's a good community. I kind of see with Hyrox, I see some people competing at the Worlds, and they're I think they're mental, because they're fucking giving it all that they're all for the cross the line, which they've trained all their, like, it's like an Olympic like athlete coming first in like in their category, so they're very excited. But I can see that the family kind of base, that it gives a lot of people, where people have come and made friends. Like, we Dackie Thompson is is one of my good mates, and like at Fit House, I know it's a very community kind of based gym, and they can go there, have coffee, make friends and stuff like that. For you, what kind of pushed you to Hyrox? And see Hyrox, for anybody that doesn't know, who's maybe just watching this here because they saw your name. Fuck yeah, Reece. What is Hyrox, and what pushed you into Hyrox?
Podrick actually pushed me in, and believe it or not, we opened the gym for a couple of years, and then I had my first wee one, and for a year I actually just lost myself in terms of a way where a business took over and whatever, and I got out of shape, and then I struggled to get back into shape for a good year, because I was always a kid that was always in shape, always, my whole life, and then I found myself out of shape, and I was like, what's going on here? But then Podrick actually knew about it. He would be more up to date with like England, and he's like
Keeps up
into
to
all
date
the
on
fashion
the
and
new
all that
trends.
there, and a load of the people he followed started to do Hyrox. So then me and him done it whenever no one had a clue what it was. I think this was 2022. Me and him went over to Glasgow to do it. It was tiny at that stage, and I just absolutely loved it. Me and him done it doubles, and then from then for about 2 years I started to sort of do them. As it started to grow and become more popular, and I started to get decent at it, part of me pulled away from it a wee bit again, because it was like the identity thing. I started to attach to, oh, you do Hyrox, don't you? And I was like, no, mate, I have 2 kids and I'm a gym owner. That's what I do. And then I started to pull away from it, but I'm going to do a few more. But Hyrox it's an unbelievable event. For anyone, like you said, there's not much skill involved, which is great, because anyone can do it. We've had a few trips for our gym where we've went to Paris, Copenhagen, we've went away, big crowds of people, and you're taking people. It's unbelievable. Like, you're taking people who were just never really into their training until then going and doing like a fitness event. It's so good for them, but at the minute it's hard to do that because of how big it's got.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to do a Hyrox myself in a couple of months. I don't even have a ticket. I can't get a ticket. It's very, very hard now to get tickets. It's just boomed, which is great, because it shows you so much people are in the fitness and want to do that stuff. It's just a wee bit harder to do with a community now, but it's open, and it's like anyone can do it. I think that's the main thing. Like obviously the level that you're doing it at will dictate like, how fast you're going, how hard it is. But like not anyone can train for it and do it. Not anyone. You can't just rock up from the street and do it to a decent level.
So see, at the minute you're not. You do it. Is it amateur? Is it or the?
So
open,
there's two categories. You do open and pro. Anyone can do either of them. It's just a weight difference.
Yeah.
So the pros are heavier, and the open is just the set weight.
Yeah.
It's the exact same workout activity, but it's just different weights on the pro ones. You can pick which one you do. Now they've made it where, you know, like about the World Championship. So if you win, like, or you get a flag or whatever, you can qualify, and at the end of the season, all the ones who qualify go and race against each other in like the world champs or whatever they call it. They've now made it where you can only qualify through pro, whereas like up until now you've been able to do an open and get qualifications through that and pro, because the pro is always at the heavier weight, the championship is always at the heavier weight. Yeah. So they've made it where you can only qualify through that. One
of the questions which was sent through is asking when he's going to challenge himself and go pro.
I'm actually going to do one in January. I'm going to do one in January.
Where's that?
Amsterdam. I can get a ticket. I have a few people who've said they'll be able to sort me a ticket. So I'm actually going once and doing the marathon next week, and then I'm going to have a good. I've never actually done a training block for Hyrox, believe it or not. So I've just been a shit runner trying to get better at running, and it's just helped me out because I'm pretty strong. So I'm going to do 3 months where I actually train specifically for Hyrox and try and have a good crack at it.
So, bro, you are a very good runner. I'd say you say you're average, but the us
depends what room you're in. Depends
us mere mortals, where you're a very good runner. You do camps and stuff like that there in Portugal.
Yeah,
do you do that yourself? Do you run them yourself, or do you go to someone else?
Ryan, he lives in Portugal. He has an online business. Me and him work together, and with his online stuff as well. But then we run training camps out in Portugal as well. Which is cool.
And how did that there come about, the idea? And because that's a big step.
Yeah. I think from whenever I used to go out and train with him, like we go to a place called Lagos. It's so accessible to a lot of stuff that we don't have over here. Things that don't necessarily cost a lot of money, but like lovely beaches, lovely like boardwalk where you can run and see like sunrises. There's a track, gym, good weather, good food, all that sort of stuff. It's all in one place, and it's like I said, it's all easily accessible, and because of that, we can run them, and you don't have to charge an arm and a leg to run them. You know what I mean? And he has a studio in one of the hotels in Lagos who do good prices on the hotel as well. So you can get people, like we have my gym over there. We had another gym, BSC, over a couple of weeks ago, and you can get gym, like you're talking about community, you can get gyms out who have great communities and do a training camp to some without having to.
See, the training camp, is it all physical, or do you educate nutrition, do seminars on things?
It's all sort of individualised in terms of who's coming. Some people just want to train. Some people will benefit from doing like a Hyrox seminar or like a nutrition seminar, like a mindset seminar. It just depends, and we usually just ask if it's we do like some public ones. Next year it'll probably be more private ones. Public ones just mean anyone can book on, and you'll get like a group of 15. And we'll usually sort of just base them off what we think most people would like. If it's a private one, we'll usually speak to whoever's coming. Yeah. What does your members like? Do they want to hear anything, or do they want to just chill out in their free time? That sort of thing. But the training, really it's tough. Like it's not tough where you can't do it. It's inclusive for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's just usually your week's training in 2 days. You know what I mean?
See, when you're coaching and you're getting someone new in who's say new to Hyrox.
Yep.
Do you have the kind of, because one thing which I love is just seeing someone overcome a limit or a barrier which they have set in their head, and they're kind of in the trenches in the doghouse. What kind of fulfillment does it give you to see someone who may have been struggling at the start, but then now is thriving and really enjoys the sessions? Yeah,
I mean, as a coach, that's like you're now getting into that feeling as well. There's nothing better than seeing people, and I've always had the belief of if coaching's actually for you and you're in coaching for the right reasons, that's the thing that keeps you in coaching, that fulfillment. It's not how much money you can make, or if you're doing 5, 10, 15, what you see on K a month, you see on Instagram. It is that feeling of taking someone from here to here. And for me, I love it. That's what gets me up in the mornings. Like I we at the gym, generally we would train people who, like, our target market is people who don't really train or don't have the confidence to go into the gym. And so we're usually getting the people who are coming into us, like, looking around and like they've maybe failed loads of times and feel like, I can't do this, this just isn't for me. And then you see them and 6 months later and they're like a completely different person. Their family life's completely different. Their just general life is completely different. So for me, that's the best. That's where I get the fulfillment from. Like, it's so good.
I always love throwing this here in just because it's brownie points for you as well. But behind every good man is a very strong woman, and
we spoke about this at the event.
We discussed it at the event, and I think she definitely deserves it, like I mentioned, because 100%. The amount of hours that you need to put into your craft to perfect it in terms of your training and then your work life as well. Your missus.
Yeah, Caitlin is, like I said, she's a superhero. Like, I don't tell her enough, to be fair. But like, we have 2 kids now, and honestly, last 5 months has been the most challenging time for us as a family. With a second child, people tell you about your second child. You don't pay any heat until the second child comes, and you're like, oh fuck me, this is tough. Yeah. But like, she holds the fort. And the thing about, like, I work so hard, and people always, like, we go on holidays and stuff like that. That's what I work for. I don't work to save money to have in the bank. I work for our family to experience things, X, Y, and Z. And like, me and Caitlin have been together a long time. We were in the same primary school, and whenever I was broken from football at 19, I came home a shell. I couldn't. There was times where I literally couldn't go to sleep at night because I had bad anxiety unless she was with me. So she's literally seen that side. And then now she's saying we have a lot, like, we have everything we could want in life, but I can't do all the stuff that I do if she's not holding the fort and doing like the parenting. And I try and help as much as I can, obviously, but sometimes it's not always as easy as that. When we had Nancy, our first child, we had only opened the gym. It was the same year, and I was there every day, all day, every day. Because you're having to try and build your business up, whether you like it or not. I missed a lot of her life the first 2 years, which I obviously wasn't too happy about. But it's one of them things that you try and
sacrifice that you're making.
Sacrifices you have to make.
The greater good.
This time round, I'm in a position now. I always say whenever we have a second child, for me, that was one of my motivations was from first child to second child. If we ever have another child, I want to work hard to be in a position where I can spend more time. So now I have a lot more flexible time. I still work as much, but I can be there and be more supportive. But she, honestly, like, one of them things, you know yourself, you can't, I just wouldn't be able to live the life that I'm living without her doing what she's doing, supporting me in that way. And like, our kids wouldn't have the life that they have. So,
see, when it comes to your business, what is kind of next? Do you have plans of what you're going to be wanting to do in the next, say, 6 months, 12 months, or 5 years?
Me and Padraig's never really had, we've never really went in with like number targets or anything like that. Like, I think for us, it's always been more the service and the collective. And I started coaching, I've always been the believer of, if you genuinely give a fuck about people and actually want them to do well, you'll never struggle to get a client. And that's always been my attitude. I think whenever you start chasing numbers and X, Y, and Z, like, you can lose that side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can lose that side of the person, and you're starting to see people's numbers, and that's something that I've never liked.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I don't like about business. We don't run a great business, to be quite honest with you, because that's not the way we wanted to run. Do you know what I mean?
Invested in the people. You want to be invested in the people.
Yeah, like we've had loads of mentors over the years that'll tell you to do X, Y, and Z, and it doesn't align with my values as a person, so I don't do it. So it makes our business a weaker business.
Yeah.
But it makes me happier. I can sleep at night. You know what I mean?
100%.
So for us, it's like we're really pushing community for the next sort of 6 months to a year. Just doing as much as we possibly can, getting people involved. And we've always pushed community.
Yeah.
But I think it's more important now than it ever has been.
Do you have your flags up in the gym?
I have a couple up. Not really my choice, to be fair. But we've always, like I said, Hyrox, love Hyrox, and we use it more for our members. We don't use it as a way of getting people to the gym because it's not necessarily our target audience. We're trying to attract people who are maybe, like I was saying, beginners and afraid to come to the gym and stuff like that. We're not really trying to attract people who want to do Hyrox. Now, I coach people privately who want to do Hyrox, But that's why I don't really like throwing it over social media.
How do you find the online coaching?
I enjoy it because I can do it as an extra. That's why I love it so much, because then I'm lucky enough to be able to work with people that I have a really good relationship with, and I can say no to people. If that was my full-time gig, you're in a different position.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have at some stage you have to just work with anyone who wants to take your help. So I love it from that sense. I couldn't be a full-time online coach, because it's a different type of fulfillment and it's a different job. It's a different job than in-person coaching.
Would you say you're more of a people person, or like
100%,
speaking in person?
100%. I'm more of a people person. Even my online clients, like, I ring them every week. You don't need to do that. They don't necessarily pay for that. If you asked any other online coach, they would say, no, that's stupid, you're wasting your time. I love that. Because I love the relationship with people. You
get a good feel, as like see, especially as well, see, communicating over a screen. You can say something and it could get completely
I'm the worst for it. See text messages, I'm terrible for it. See, over the years, I have to see anytime I want to send anything into our group chat, like our members chat, I have to send it to my ma first. She has to proofread it and send me it back. Honestly,
that's class.
Just because how easy it is, because people read your messages what way they want to read it and what mood they're in. So when you're trying to get something that's like in the grey area across to someone, you send it to 5 people, they'll all take it different ways.
Yeah, 100%.
So I try my best not to do anything over message. I just ring people.
I try to stick to voice.
Or see them.
I voice notes now.
Voice notes the best way, because you can obviously get what you want across, right? It's a dangerous game. Like,
it is 100%.
And I'm the same. Like, I read some messages from people sometimes, and I read it in a way and I go, right, okay. And then I say to Caitlin, what do you think about that? And then she's like, that's fine. And we both read that same message but got 2 different stories out of it. 100%. So it's a dangerous game, like.
Because me and my missus do it like all the time. We could be like talking about something, and I go, I don't know if you're serious. I'm hearing that. I don't know if you're joking, and she doesn't know if I'm joking as well. And I'm just like, I'll just ring.
I'm a terrible texter, like, I really am. It's not that I don't intentionally mean to be rude or whatever. I'm just terrible at texting. What I'm trying to say usually doesn't come across the right way. I've learned that the hard way over the years. Like,
just someone slapping you and you're going,
what's
going on here?
I know. So,
bro, I got a few finishing kind of questions here, just to ask you. So, in your eyes, what separates the people who talk about wanting to change from the ones who actually do?
Oh, what separates them?
Yeah.
Usually just how they act, and if they do what they say they're going to do. Like, you hear a lot of people, like we were saying about, if you're not happy, you always hear, like, if you don't like your job, leave it. If you don't, it's only valuable when it's coming from people who are actually living that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if someone said that to me whenever I was 19, just leave football. Like, it's fine, but I knew they were sitting in a comfy job that they didn't like, in a relationship that they didn't like the person. I wouldn't pay any heed to it. I'd say, what do you know? But if you're someone's giving that advice, you need to be living that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to be same as anything, practicing what you preach. And if you're preaching that, showing that you're doing that. So for people that it's the people that are acting on it. It's not an easy thing to do. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, because most things that people don't change is things that making them comfortable. You get stuck in the comfort zone. It's a trap.
False sense of security.
100%. And it's not an easy thing to change at. It really isn't. And that's why most people don't want to do it. That's why you don't want to do the hard stuff, because the easy option is easy for a reason. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you're every single day you're given 20 different opportunities to choose hard, and most of us will choose easy 80% of the time.
It's a good saying, like, if you do what is easy, life is going to be hard. If you do what's hard, life 100%. Is going to be easy.
Absolutely.
And it's always the way. Like, I'm Absolutely. A big firm believer in action. So I've got to be like saying to myself, action. Just That's cool. Take action, because if you're sitting thinking about it's okay, drawing up these plans are okay, but unless you're actually going to implement these plans and take action,
Absolutely.
You're just fucking fooling yourself.
Mate, 100%. And like, it's easier. I think it's easier now for me, now that I've had kids and stuff, the way I live. But before it wasn't really. But like, it's hard to understand that you're literally here and you could be gone tomorrow. Like, I was really ignorant of that for a long, long time. And then it's only until you have people around you or family members dying and stuff, and you're like, you literally get one go and then you're gone. And 100%. That's it. Like,
do what makes you happy.
And if you don't, then, like, for me, it's always like, imagine being told you were going to die and you had a week to live. Like, the biggest regret would ever be, like, if you didn't do things you wanted to do because it was maybe out of your comfort zone or something, you know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, say if someone tells me you're going to die tomorrow, I want to die, I'd be like, right, okay, fine. Happy enough. Not happy to die, but, like, I've done what I've needed to do and I'm dying in a happy place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That if you're leaving people behind, they're kind of taken care for as well. Like,
absolutely.
I think I don't have kids now myself, but like I'd say especially with like you have kids, you have a missus, and just kind of knowing that you've got a strong family there and good like family roots, and you just can take care of each other and stuff like that. I'd say that's more fulfilling than really anything.
Absolutely, like that's the whenever you have kids, your whole life changes for the better, and that's for me now. Now, I see from I had my child, mate, I've turned into the most emotional person ever. I watch TikTok every night. And it's like the algorithm just shows me like sick kids and kids dying and all. I sit and cry every single night. Wake up the next day as if nothing happened and just go to work. But
yeah, watching Lilo and Stitch last night.
No, it's terrible. But
fuck's sake.
I think the level of like purpose that you get whenever you have a family, not even just necessarily kids. Like, I think the level of purpose you have whenever you just have close people around you, it can be family, friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't just have to be kids. Obviously, kids bring another side, but if you have a life that you love, like that gives you purpose to do things and just be a good person. You know what I mean?
Love that. So, what's the mindset that keeps you showing up every day and doing things when no one is watching?
I think for me, like I was saying earlier, I found myself in a place where I sort of got out of shape, and I think this is more. I don't know what issues it is, or for me, training and nutrition has a really, really, I believe as for most people, the impact it has on the rest of my life is like night and day. I don't believe there's anyone who can say to me that they're not happy with how they look, but they're happy with their life. I don't believe that. I believe your life can always get better if you get more comfortable with how you look and feel. But I found myself out of shape, and then what I found was happening was I was really unhappy at that stage. Like, even though I had my wee one and had the gym and had all this, I found myself really unhappy, and it was just because of how I felt about myself. And it was impacting how I was being as a parent, like, as a father, mate. I was like my child loved swimming. She was only 1 or 2, and I used to not bring her swimming and all. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't comfortable doing the thing. One time, Caitlin doesn't know this, so she'll be watching this, she'll know. There was one time I was meant to bring her swimming, mate, and we just drove her in my car for 2 hours. Till I had to go back, and then I ended up getting water and all. I was like rubbing it on her hair. We were going in. I was like, I just had to dry her, and I was that uncomfortable with myself. I couldn't even bring my young child swimming. So for me, I was like, right, you need to change. So then I had that harsh reality of, right, this is how this impacts your life. Whenever you're out of shape or you're taking the easy choice, you're a bad parent, but you're not as good as a parent you can be. You're not as good as a partner you can be. I would have come home and not really wanted to speak to them. So then every day I wake up and I just know what? I know if I have a training session to do, if I miss it, that's me deciding to be a worser parent or partner than I could be. Or if I'm saying I'm going to do something, then I know it's me deciding I'm deciding on the outcome yet. You know what I mean? So I know the outcome because I've been there. And if I miss it, I know that's me deciding. So like today, training out, I have to go and run after. I'm like, mate, I'm at that stage now where I'm 6 months in, I can't really be annoyed now. But I know I'm going to go and do it because I know if I don't, I'm going to go home and probably not want to. Some days like my day were the kids and stuff, and I'm probably not going to want to be as present or doing things. I'm not going to be in the mood. So if I don't run, that's me deciding to be that parent. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I sort of see it every day. Maybe that's a wee bit more than what's needed for people, but that's what drives me. Like,
it's a great way to hold yourself accountable.
That's what holds me accountable. It's probably not, like I said, it's probably a bit extreme for a lot of people. But that's fine. I'm an extreme person. But that's ultimately what drives me to get up and do what needs done every day. And I just attach everything to my kids now.
Love it.
Even if it doesn't need to be.
It's good the way you said that there at the start. When you were playing football, you were always 110%. It was either that or nothing. And then as you're showing here that you've carried that there kind of philosophy into this year.
I think different people is just built slightly differently and wired slightly differently. For me, that was one of the things that I learned during CBT therapy. This is how you are. You just got to make sure it works for you, not against you type of thing. which means putting it into the right things. So if you're 110% at everything, put that into the things that you love, like your family or your work, or work that you enjoy, and it'll look after itself, type of thing.
Unreal. So the next one here, just because you're so flat out, you've got a strong brand in terms of movement. You've got good social media following stuff now. People recognise you for the Hyrox and know that you run fucking 10,000 a week. You know what I mean? So you're kind of on a pedestal, but not of what you're wanting. It's just you're on that pedestal just because of like of who you are and the kind of brand you have. So how do you stay grounded and authentic in a world full of ego?
Oh, amazing. I absolutely hate social media. If it wasn't for my job, I wouldn't be on it. I hate it. But then it's one of the things that I use my social media for, is just to be me and just put out what I want to see, or what I would want to see, if that makes sense. And like, I'm unapologetically myself on my Instagram. Like, any videos you see me doing, like, I'm not recording that a couple of times. Like, if I mess up. Like, I'll talk on Instagram every day, and I talk as if I'm talking to no one, and just be myself, because I think there's not enough people. A lot of people are starting to do that more now, I think. I think that's now starting to become a wee bit more cool. But for me, the last few years, like, whenever I came out of the other side of football and sort of got the confidence back in myself after not being able to look at anyone, I was like, right, this is just the way you're going to live going forward. Yeah. And for me, that's just what I've done. And I don't know. I don't really see anyone, or there's no one that I'd be like looking at thinking, what are they going to think anymore? Yeah. I think that was one thing that changed for me. Just see, as soon as I get over that barrier of everyone thinks you're a fucking disgrace and you've wasted this opportunity. See, once I get over that barrier, I was just like, right, I don't care what anyone thinks. Like you were saying about last week on the getting up on this and doing the podcast, like, that's how I live. I genuinely just don't care anymore. As long as my family and friends know who I am, I really don't mind. Like, if whoever's watching this doesn't like me, I don't care. You don't care. You know what I mean? Love that. But anyone who I value their friendship or whatever, I care what they think. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I do. I always want to be a nice person and make sure that I am. It's not that I don't care enough to just go and be a dickhead to people. You know what I mean? Yeah. I care where I want the people who I value and respect to I value their opinions. You know what I mean? 100%. So, bro, last question here. So, mental toughness. Yep. What does it mean to you? And do you think it's something people are born with, or you develop through hardship? Good question. I think for me, mental toughness is just the ability to deal with things. Everyone's things are different, and everyone's things change throughout their life. For me, I don't think it's something that you're built with or not built with. I think you can work on it. I don't think I was wired in a way where I was mentally tough. I still don't think I'm mentally tough. I'm a lot mentally tougher than I was 5 years ago. But I think it's something that can be worked on. I think some people have that trait a little bit more than others. And I think your personality type plays a big part in it. Yeah. But I don't think it's something that's either you've got it or you don't. And I also don't think that it's something that can just you can improve it, but I think it can also get worse if you don't keep working on it. 100%. Well, just before we do finish off, I just think, even just looking back on your life, I would say that even though that you said that you weren't at that age, I'd say you probably you were mentally tough. You know what I mean? It takes courage and bravery to move to England, a different country with people that you don't know, and then it takes courage and bravery to step away from a Premier League club like that there and take a risk to go down, and then it takes courage and bravery and to come back, and actually just shows how humble that you actually are, that you were happy to go and work in like a factory, and then courage and bravery to overcome what you done in terms of staying in the house for 8 months and then want to face, and then you've built up a family and stuff like that there. So I would say that you are very appreciate that, mate. Mentally tough, and then even just them runs you're doing they fucking, get you mentally tough, mate. I run with no music, nothing, just raw dog it. Just a raw dog it, mate. What I mean, stuff like that there is it's mentally tough. I'd say when you're hitting, if you're out of fucking, you're just doing a marathon yourself, or I've seen that you were doing, like, you done a 36k and stuff like that. Say when you hit the 30th k, you're just like,
Right, I'd rather it's just be over and done with now. I just can't. Like, I'm looking forward to going home. Like a bit of grub, but you push on and perseverance. So I'd say you do have, in terms of mentality monsters, you do have a really fucking strong mentality.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for coming on, mate. It's been an
Appreciate
absolute pleasure.
I enjoyed it, man.
Cheers, bro.
Absolutely. Thoroughly enjoyed it, actually.
Brother, I thought it was fucking class.